Welcome back to another episode of the Loan Officer Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Johnstone. And before we get into today's episode, I want to remind you that the majority of funded deals in the mortgage industry come from referrals, whether it's from your past customers and center of influence, or it's referral partners like realtors, financial planners, insurance advisors, title companies. We have discovered that there are 7 pathways to get as many referrals as you can in your mortgage business. And we have pre-programmed them into the Loan Officer CRM. That's what it is. It's a referral getting engine. And we have built a power dialer so you can make more calls. We have pre-built all of the workflows, so all of the messaging is there waiting for you to customize it for you. And then we built AI agents to have the conversations with the people that you are communicating to help you generate more referrals. Now, we also include 300 qualified agents a month so you can get new referral relationships, and we teach you the 8 different offers that you can use to get top producing agents in order to refer you business and open up those relationships. So right now, go to loanofficercrm.ai. loanofficercrm.ai. You can also go to Google and type in Loan Officer CRM. We're in the #1 spot on Google. Check it out, read all the reviews, and then book a one-on-one demo with our team. They'll answer all your questions, walk you through the whole program, and help you discover whether it's the right fit for your business, because it's not right for everybody, but it may be right for you. And if it is, it's an incredible opportunity. So head on over to loanofficercrm.ai and enjoy this episode of the Loan Officer Marketing Podcast. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Loan Officer Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Johnstone, and today we have Oleg Tkach on the show. Oleg, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Chris. Excited to be on.
Well, rocket ship this year. So you've gone from number 75 on the Scotsman's Guide now to number 41 this year. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so all of our listeners, loan officers, they're going to want to know, how did you do it? How did you continue to grow in today's environment with rates doing what they're doing, market doing what it's doing? So let's start there. What are you doing right now that's working in the business?
You know, I think the biggest thing for me over the last few years has been really leveraging my team more than ever to expand our reach to more agents than ever. And in addition to that, it's the messaging that we have behind the scenes to program our agents to think about us in the moments where they run into a scenario where they need an updated pre-approval for a higher purchase price. They need somebody on the weekend for weekend coverage, and they run into a buyer that needs to get started, or let's say they run into a scenario where they need a product where they have somebody that wants to buy first and sell a bridge loan product. And so really the biggest thing that I've changed, you could say, over the last 2 years is I have developed the mindset of, I'm no longer a loan officer. We're no longer just doing lending. We have to be the best marketers. And if we're the best marketers and our marketing message, which is solely based on realtors, and if you really, really break down who your client is and what their needs are, and if you're able to sell to them and program them to think about you in those moments, then when those moments come, that's when they think of you, and that's when they get the referral, They give you the referral. And so if you think about it, like most loan officers, their approach that they take with agents is just, send me a lead. Hey, do you have a lead? I'm a lender. Well, great, you're a lender, but really, where could you help them? What need are you filling? And so I took that approach a few years ago, where I was like, at the end of the day, if I'm able to, if anybody studies a realtor and is able to truly understand what a realtor wants, and I'm able to have them think about me in those moments, now all of a sudden, that's really where you could say that's how leads are made. Now, you take it a step further and you say, well, one is now you have strategy. The other part is output. Is your output sufficient? There's people out there that they have the strategy, but their output the amount of marketing that's going out, whether it's calls, text, videos, um, social, whatever, it's just their audience is too small. Their
That's right.
audience is too small. Not enough people know them. So it's like at the end of the day, if you have the best marketing play, you are the best programmer, you have all the products, everything, right? However, only a couple people know you, so what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't move the needle. Now, so for some people, it's you have to develop the strategy. For other people, it's you need to develop a way wider audience. And so one thing that we've done is we've actually gone into where it used to be, hey, we're just in the state of Washington and Washington's great and we love Washington. And with COVID, one thing that's happened with COVID is that the state lines are no longer there.
Yeah,
People
that's
don't
right.
care, right? And so when you think about it, what we did is we said, hey, well, why are we limited to just Washington? Why not get licensed everywhere where our clients are going and establish agent relationships there,
Yeah,
right? And so I went into 28 different states, got licensed in 28 different states. And the thing about going into different states is that it takes time. Just like it
that's
took,
right.
me a long time to build up to um, one of the one of the top three LOs in Washington. I've been number one a few different times. Last year, I was number one in units in the state of Washington. Like that took a long time. So going
Yep.
into these different states, I also recognize the fact that it's going to take us time to really gain massive market share, but we got that moving. And we got that moving at the end of 2022 and rates started going up. Most people weren't thinking about what are we going to do in a high rate market. I was thinking about what am I going to do in a high rate market with my team. So we go into these states. And now, if you look at 2024, for example, in 2024, we did about 209 million, and a lot of it was done in other states. And now in 2025, we're tracking for about 250 million, and it's because our out of state business continues to grow.
Right.
So again, going back to the fact of there's two parts that you need to really scale your business. One is strategy. The other is a way larger audience. And so instead of thinking, hey, I need 20 agents or 40 agents or 50 agents, we're thinking along the lines of why not have 1,000 agents that know us? Now,
Mm-hmm.
1,000 don't know me. Don't get. I just want to clarify. I'm not even close. But that's the mentality of why not go wider? Because at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, we're creating the marketing. We're creating the systems. We have all that. The beauty that right now that most people are missing is that with technology, it allows us to scale like crazy.
That's
So
right.
then we took that part of it and we said, hey, we now want every realtor to know us, because if we have every realtor that knows us and they give us one deal, for example, every 2 years, but you have 1,000 people that know you. And again, I don't have 1,000, but this is just the mindset behind it, right? Because a lot of
Yet.
people they listen to this and they misunderstand the strategy. But if I have 1,000 agents that know me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Know me. Doesn't mean I have to know them. They know me. And they give me one deal every 2 years. That's 500 transactions. So that's where I'm talking about where the whole point is have the largest audience that you can.
Yep.
Some you'll have a great relationship with. Others, you're just marketing to them. And
Right.
you are, as long as you are one of their lenders, key is one of their lenders, not their only lender, one of their lenders. And all agents have multiple lenders, which is hard for some LOs to overcome, but they do. And so as long as you're one of their lenders, now you have the opportunity to market to them, stay in front of them, and essentially have a shot at their business, which is all I'm after when I meet a new agent. I just want to have the ability to have a chance at your business. And I know that if I have that with a lot of different agents, now I'm building something special. So I'd
Yep.
say, like, when I look back the last few years, what are the key differences in continuing to grow in a tougher market, right? Let's face it, the market just got harder.
Yeah.
How have we continued to grow? It's not luck, and a lot of people like to think, oh, they're just in this market or that market. Oh, they're lucky because they're out of state. But that was strategic. That wasn't,
Yep.
no one sent me a out of state license. Like I didn't get that in the mail. Like I had to go and get it. Then I had to go, call on agents there. Then I had to meet those agents, right, over Zoom, and then I had to present to them. Then I had to stay in front of them. I had to have them believe that I am a true option for them, and then you'd have to do like, all of that, right? So the thing is that like the biggest thing I like to say is like when you look at anybody's business, it is the sum of all their activity or a lack
Oh,
thereof. And the
yep.
ones it's very crazy. And I bet you if we got all the top 100 loan officers in one room, you would see that most of them shifted their strategy into the new market. And I think the one common, you could say, one major common factor that we all have is we have tons of people, agents, clients in our audience that we are marketing to, whether we realize it or not. But we have a very large audience, and that's essentially the way to keep the leads coming in and keep the business going strong.
That's right. Yep. It's all about the marketing.
All
So
about being a marketer.
at the very, very beginning, um, so a lot of people think like, where do you get your leads from? And you immediately went to just like agent relationships. And is that where you get the majority of your deals from? Like if you had a breakdown and you took database, realtors, and let's say online leads,
Yeah.
what would
So
that breakdown be?
first off, for the record, online leads suck. They're horrible.
Yes.
If anybody's buying them, you're wasting your time. And this goes for agents too. Like if they were so great, the people that were generating them would just close them themselves. Like let's
Right.
face it. Like they're not. Sure, is there a place for them? Yes, but should you base your strat? Like I don't know of any. Maybe for realtors it might be a little bit different, but for lenders, I don't know of any
Yeah.
top lender that's buying online leads. I don't know of any. Maybe that's a one off, but for the most part, most people have a relationship based business,
That's right.
and the what it has to be is realtors are the obvious because they need a lender, right? Like
Yep.
they need a lender, and then you have your database. So I'm about 60-40, 60% from agents, which I really focus on because I know I could grow that as
That's right.
fast as I want to, right? I know that that's the game that I'm playing. Um, and then I have 40% of it, which is database. And database comes from two things. One is the ability to wow them from start to finish and have them walk away saying, wow, like they freaking crushed it. And I
Yep.
owe them, my friends and family because they crushed it. And obviously you have to make sure that you're programming them that way. Like I always, at the end of every transaction, when I have a closing, I'll call them and I'll say, "Hey, Chris, do you truly feel like we did a great job taking care of you?" Yes. If that's the case, and we truly did take care of you, can I ask you for two things? Number one is only if we earned it, by the way, Chris. So no, like if we didn't earn it, you could just say no right now. But if we earned this, did we earn the right for you to refer us to your friends and family moving forward? Because just like you referred to us, all of our business comes from people that are talking about us. We don't do any advertising. We don't do any of that. It's all referral. So that's why we try so hard to take care of people just like you, so that way you could refer us to the next client. So only if we earned it, though. And then the
Yep.
second thing that I asked for is a review. Like
Yeah.
again, if we earned a 5-star review, write me up a review. And we have and I started doing this a few years ago, and I think we have close to 1,000 online reviews right now. And the reason why that's powerful is because when people look you up, agents, listing
That's right.
agents, your other clients that were referred to you, they Google search you and you have 2 reviews. They're like, when you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, or even 1,000, they're like, okay, they're a big player, which means it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't guarantee you that you're going to get the deal, but it makes it so much easier because now all of a sudden the trust is high, right?
That's right.
And so looking back at it, so it's 60-40, 40% clients, past clients, and it's because one, we took great care of them. And the second part is you got to stay in front of them. How do we
That's
stay
right.
in front of them? We stay in front of them a lot of different ways, but it's a combination of texting, emailing, and regular old fashioned mail. And a lot of people are like, "Well, why would you send like old school mail?" I'll tell you why. Because it still works. Because when a client gets something from me, I don't even
Yep.
care if they read it. All I want them to do is pick it up, say, "Oleg, mortgage. Oleg's still in mortgage. Toss."
Yep.
As long as they did that, I won. That's all I care
Right.
about. And so
Hmm.
that's where like people think that the client's going to call them after getting a mailer and saying, I just got your mailer and I want to, like, sure, that happens. But most of the time it's Oleg Mortgage Toss. It's Saturday. They're with friends and family. Their family members moving to Florida, and they're like, "Hey, Oleg told me he's licensed in all these different states. Call my guy Oleg."
Yep.
Because they got the mailer, it said Oleg Mortgage Toss, right? So, like, when you look at strategy, a lot of people overthink what they do. The biggest thing for me is major output. Put
Right.
yourself in front of them as many times as you can. The content, while it's important for past clients, it's not too important. For realtors, it's super important because they're getting blasted with content all the time. And so your marketing, your messaging strategy to agents has to be dialed. To past clients, again, just stay in front of them. Just
Yep.
never, ever, ever let them forget. So here's what here's the sum of, you could say my play of what I do. I feel like if anybody wants to have their best year ever, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter.
Mm.
You're in the mortgage space, you want to have your best year ever. There's three things that you need to do. Three things. Number one is you got to build a great team.
Yep.
You have to have the capacity to do loans. A lot of people, they're phenomenal marketers. They have a great audience, but it's just a one-man shop. They have no team. Therefore, they're capped. They can only do
Yep.
5 or 6 deals a month, right? Meanwhile, other people like myself, we're running 50 a month right now. And it's because team. If I wasn't for the team, I wouldn't be able to do it. So number one is team. Number two, you got to tell somebody new about it every day. Okay? So it's very simple. Every single day, I need to get in front of a new agent
Yep.
and sell my team, add him to my. Now I'm on track to get to 1,000 agents that know me, right? That's going to take me about 3 years if I were to start at zero, right?
Yep.
If anyone starts today where it's one agent a day, within a year you're going to have just as many agents as most people have in the top 100, which is wild. That means in a year, if you have the team, you could have the same amount of agents that people have in the top 100. Okay. Now, obviously, there's a lot of strategy on how do I find one a day? What do I say when I get in front of them? How do I get in front of them? How do I leverage that? Like, that's all different. But the point is, get in front of, tell one person new about it every day. And the third thing, if you want to have your best year ever, is the ones that know, clients and agents, never, ever, ever let them forget. If you do those three things, build a great team, tell somebody new about it every day, never let the ones that know that ever forget, not only will you have a phenomenal business, but it's one that's going to be able to sustain great times and bad times. Like during the great moments of 20 and 21, we had multiple months where we did over 100 transactions, hit 125, hit 114, 110. Now, during these months, we're back into the 50s, hitting 50, hitting 50, hitting 50. So the point that I'm trying to make is this. A lot of people look at rates, lenders look at rates, and they base their results whether rates are higher or low. I really don't care where rates are at. If rates are at 8, rates are at 7, rates are at 6, rates are at, it doesn't matter. We're going to do a ton of business because there's always somebody buying. There's always
That's right.
somebody doing a transaction. Like, it's not about rates. It's about who are we marketing to, who knows us, who are we staying in front of, and so on.
That is incredible, Oleg. Man, that's like a mini masterclass right there on how to crush the mortgage industry and have your best year yet. That's amazing. So we're going to have listeners, and I love that you went down the database and the agent route. And we have a lot of people that are looking at agent relationships right now, So what are you finding when you're making your calls and you're setting up these new relationships? What's the one thing that agent wants? What's that one thing that agent wants to hear, that problem that you can solve for them that helps you win that relationship?
So here's my take on the whole agent play is there's 4 levels of agent relationships.
Oh,
And you have to understand the levels and understand how to sell to the levels. Most lenders only understand one, and that's where they get it wrong. And the one that they understand is the most common one, which is primary. They're in a primary level relationship, and that's what they shoot for. What they don't realize, it's the other 3 that actually you need to get on the level with that earns primary. And
Okay.
that's where everybody goes wrong. And I'll mention what the other three are. But that's basically my approach. When I get in front of an agent, I don't care to try to get primary. I don't even go
Right.
after it. I don't like if they tell me that, hey, my LO is Chris. I'm like, Chris is great. He sounds like a phenomenal person. All that I am. There's no me versus you or anything like that. I assume they have a primary. Whereas
Yeah.
most lenders, they come in to an agent meeting and they're trying to knock the primary off. They're
That's right.
trying to get to primary, and that agent might be in such good relationship and or might be friends or whatever, or it might even be their family member, and then they get all defensive. Once you get into that zone, you're done. You're never
Yeah.
going to get a lead from them. It's you against them and all that. So what I do is I go for the other three levels, which is number one, business.
Okay.
Business level is you're doing something together that generates business. It could be that you're coaching them. It could be that you guys are doing open houses together. It could be that you guys are doing some sort of farming together, social media videos together. The point is you're doing something that generates business. Okay, that's maybe buying online leads, right? That's generating business, right? That's a business level relationship. The other one is backup, meaning that you are their backup LO. Now, most people see backup only one way. They see backup as, um, deal went bad, call you, solve it, fix it, right?
Right.
That's one form of backup. There's actually more to it. I call that the second opinion lender, meaning, well, Mr. Agent, you have a client that's pre-approved for 500, but they really need 550. If you got 550, would you find them the home? That is a different form of backup. It's the second opinion where now they're reaching out to you because somebody needs a higher purchase price. It could
Right.
be they want different loan payment options. It could be bridge loan options and so on. So the backup second opinion lender and being able to program that and get on that level, super, super, super important. And then the last one of the four is the what I call program. You specialize in a program or product,
I
and
love
you
that.
that is what they look at you. For some people, it's DPA, and they know DPA so well. They're like, oh my gosh, I work with Chris, and Chris is great, but like he doesn't really like my first time homebuyers. But wow, Oleg just blew me away on how much he knows about DPA, his product. That's who I'm going to use for DPA. For some people, it's VA. They establish themselves as VA experts, and that's what lenders will use it or agents will use them for. I personally do self-employed borrowers. I've always been
Hmm.
the self-employed borrower, you could say king, where I'm always talking about complex tax returns, now bank statement products to 1099 products to. I've established myself as that in my community where people know if somebody's self-employed, like don't let him go to whoever, like let him go to Oleg and his team. They really, really do a phenomenal job as self-employed borrowers. So the key is, again, when you're in front of an agent, there's strategy to all of this, right? And we don't have time to go into that, but I go into the other three and I establish myself as one of those to them. Because if I could
Okay.
get them walking away saying, oh my gosh, Oleg loves my lender, Chris, he's no threat to me, and Chris is still going to be my lender. But next time I have somebody that's self-employed, I'm going to send them to Oleg. Or next time I have somebody who needs a higher purchase price, I'm going to send them to Oleg. Next time I have somebody or hey, me and Oleg are now doing this together, which doesn't even involve Chris, but we're doing something that generates business together. Now all of a sudden, I'm on a level with them.
Yep.
Then at that point, as long as I can market to them properly, I crush it on loans. Well, guess what happens eventually? I earn primary. So
That's right.
primary is earned, it's not given. And
Mm.
whether loan officers realize it or not, but all your primary relationships that you have right now, they were never just given to you. You earned them as a backup lender. Maybe you sold primary and they gave you a shot and you crushed it. And then they
Yeah.
give you another shot and you crushed it again. And then eventually you take that spot. So my approach is a lot more strategic as I don't want your primary business. I know I'm not going to get it. I want to go on a different level. I want to strategize on how I'm going to sell you on that level. Then at that point, as long as I outmarket everyone else, I know eventually I'm going to be your primary lender.
That is amazing. Oh, like, again, phenomenal content. Well, so to shift gears a little bit, how did you get into the mortgage industry? What's your story?
That's a long story, actually. I don't know if you want the story, but I got in when I was 18. Now I'll give you the short
No
version.
way, really?
Yeah, the short version is I wanted to be an LO since I was 16. Um, I
That's rare.
Yep. And then at 18, I got in. I got hired in as a dialer, quote, junior LO, which is good because if I knew I was a dialer, I probably would have never accepted the job and we wouldn't be talking today. So I came in as a junior LO, and within 6 months, I was doing loans. And my approach since the beginning has always been, there's somebody out there that knows more than me. Teach me, tell me what to do, and I'll do it. So the way I was able to survive my first year is I asked everybody in my office, what would you do if you're me? I'm a brand new
Mm,
LO. And no matter what they told me, I did it. Then eventually I joined different coaching programs and everything else. And it was the same thing. It was all focused on how do I be the best. Now, there was a time like 2 years into my career, or maybe three, that I found out there was a top 200 list. And I was obsessive on getting in that list. And it was very simple. And I think it's the same thing that people are doing that are watching your podcast. They're like, what are the top LOs doing? Because I know if I do it, I'm going to get there, right? Like I know that the strategies that I use, and I'm in a coaching program. I'm a coach in the coaching program and everything else. And I have students, um, and I had this one guy that I took from 92 million in volume. This year he's on track to do 190. His
wow.
COVID numbers were 185. He's going to beat his COVID numbers in a down year. How many people could do that? So I
Amazing.
think the power of coaching is huge. So me getting in, always being coachable, being coached, becoming a coach, now being a part of a coaching program, which if anybody wants to know more, Impact Elite Coaching is the group that I'm with. Um, and we coach essentially people that want to blow their business up, for those that are serious about it. But it's really like, here's the playbook. If you run the play that took years and years and years to develop, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like the people that run my play, they get results. The guy that went from 92 to 190 million within a year in beating his COVID. Now he was already a top producer. I mean, 92 million is no joke, right? And to double, more than double his volume, it just has to do with understanding the game at a higher level and knowing how to play it. And once people start playing it on a higher level, understanding it, the results follow. As simple as
Yeah.
that. So that's kind of the short version of how I got in, how I propelled. I don't think I had anything ever going for me. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh wow, you're really really great." Like that's not how I started. Like if you would have met me when I first started my career, look, Chris, I'm 39. I look pretty young, right? Like let's face it. Like I'm more on the younger side. It's great now, right? Imagine
Right.
when I was 18. I looked like
Right.
I was like 12. And I was meeting agents and everything. I'm not kidding. Like no joke. Like I had nothing going for me at all other
Hmm.
than the ability to say, what would you do? And whoever told me, whatever they told me, I would do it and not overthink it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
question it. I would
Yeah.
just run the play. And it just got me to really develop into essentially being one of the top lenders in the country. Again, number one in Washington many many times, and it's all strategy. It's not because anything other than following a play, creating the play, executing the play, not overthinking the play, and not letting the emotional side of rates get in the way one way or another.
Yeah. That is incredible and incredibly valuable. Oh, like, thank you for being so generous with your time and your knowledge. If people want to find out more about you, where do they go?
I would say the best thing is to, if you want to find out more about me and what I'm doing mortgage wise, it's just Impact Elite Coaching. We're on Instagram. Find us on the web. Find out more. We have events. It's for people that really want to be coached on a super high pro level. Um, some of our students are the ones that want to go from 5 to 20 loans a month, and others are the ones that are doing 100 million that want to go to 2 to 300 million.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much probably the best way to find me.
That is amazing. Well, again, thank you for being on the show. and for being so generous. To all of our amazing listeners, thank you for listening. Thank you for all of your 5-star ratings and reviews and sharing this on social media. And we'll see you in the next episode.